Hi friends, this is the word study read for second grade, Unit 2, Week 1. We are going to read a story called Willow and Toad. It starts on page 14. So please pause the video and make sure that you have your booklet open to page 14. And as a reminder, it is your Characters Facing Challenges booklet. And you need a pencil and a highlighter. We are going to read the story, answer some questions, and find some long O words. Before we start reading, I'm going to ask you to keep an eye out for a few things. First, we are going to look for the reason in which Princess Willow was unhappy. We are going to look for why she didn't want to be friends with Crow. And we are going to keep an eye out for what happens in the very end of the story. Let's go ahead and get started in our reading. Willow and Toad. This is a fairy tale. Here we go. Long ago, a princess named Willow sat at a well and wept. She was sad because she had no friends. So a well is a place where you get water, and wept means that she was crying. And we learned that she was sad because she had no friends. A tan doe came to Willow. "Let's be friends," said Doe. "We can run fast and play." But Willow was too slow. Doe ran away. Willow began to moan. "I want a friend who will not run." Crow sat at the top of a big oak. This is a type of tree, an oak tree. "Can we be friends?" asked Crow. "Fly up and I will show you the best spot to find bugs for lunch." Willow groaned. "I cannot fly." Next, Goat came to Willow. "I will be the best friend," he boasted. "First, I must munch this grass." Goat ate grass near Willow. Then Goat began to munch Willow's long cloak. "No," Willow yelled, "a friend should not munch my cloak." With a sniff, the goat left. "May I be your friend?" a toad asked as he jumped onto Willow's toe. "We can sit and chat." Willow smiled at Toad. Just like that, Toad changed into a prince with a gold crown. Princess Willow and Prince Toad became best friends for life. I want to go back to the word cloak. So a cloak is something that people wear like over their regular clothes. It's kind of like a jacket, but it's long. It goes to your feet usually. You might see a cloak in like Little Red Riding Hood. What she wears is kind of like a cloak. So I just want to make sure that you understood what that goat was eating off of Willow. Okay, let's grab your highlighters and let's go back. And I want you to, oh, not your highlighters, I'm sorry. I want you to grab your pencils. And I want you to pause the video and go back and find why was Princess Willow sad? And go ahead and give it a squiggly underline. Why was Princess Willow sad? Did you find it? If you look back in paragraph 1, it says she was sad because she had no friends. So sad. Now I want you to think back. Why did she not want to be friends with Crow? Why did she not want to, or why couldn't she, or why didn't she think she could be friends with Crow? Go ahead and pause the video and find that spot in the story. Did you find it? She didn't want to be friends with Crow because she couldn't fly. Sad. Doesn't mean they still couldn't be friends though, right? All right, and I want you to look towards the end of this story, and I want you to do a squiggly underline of what happened when Toad met up with Willow. What happened? So at the very last paragraph, it says that Princess Willow and Prince Toad became friends for life. And that's because the toad actually changed into a prince. Great job, friends. All right, the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to take our highlighters, and I want you to go through and see how many words you can find that have a long O sound. So our long O says O. The O will say its name. It can be spelled with an O. It can be spelled with an O-A, an O-E, and an O-W. When I read through this story, I found 40 words that had the long O. Now, I might have missed some, so I want you to read through and see if you can find all of the words that have the long O, either spelled O, O-A, O-E, or O-W. And I'm going to just warn you, be careful. You might see some, especially spelled O-W, that don't make the O sound. So it has to say O. And you're going to highlight any ones that you see that are repeats as well. So let's start with the title. You see Willow and Toad. So Willow has the O-W and Toad has the O-A. So any other time you see Willow or Toad, you can highlight it. But now I want you to pause the video and see if you can find all 40 of those words. Okay, friends, let's see what you came up with. Long ago, a princess named Willow sat at a well and wept. So I see ago, that has the O. Long has an O, but it doesn't say the O sound, so we aren't going to highlight that. If you accidentally highlighted something that doesn't have the long O, you can just put a slash or an X through it, and that will mean that you weren't supposed to highlight it. That's totally fine. Here's Willow. She was sad because she had no friends. Here's no, just spelled with the O. A tan doe came to Willow. Let's be friends, said Doe. We can run fast and play. But Willow was too slow. Doe ran away. So I see a few willows in here. So let's highlight those. Her friend, the doe, came. So we can highlight all of the does. And just to make sure you know what a doe is a female deer. So female deer came to play with her. Let's see if there's any other long O. We have two, but that does not say the O sound. We have two again, also doesn't say the O sound, but we also have the word slow, which says O, spelled O-W. Paragraph 3, Willow began to moan. I want a friend who will not run. So here's Willow again. Then we hear the word moan, O-A. Remember, two is not one of ours. Who has the O, but it doesn't make the long O sound. And not has the O, but again, doesn't say O. Crow sat at the top of a big oak. Can we be friends? Asked Crow. Fly up and I will show you the best spot to find bugs for lunch. So here is the word crow, spelled O-W. There's two of those. Top has an O, but it does not say its name. Oak is the O-A spelling. We have show, like slow, but show. The word spot does not have the long O. Here is willow again, and Willow groaned. So there's your long O with the OA. Cannot, for your not, so that one doesn't fit. Next, goat came to Willow. So I see goat has the long O and Willow, of course. I will be the best friend, he boasted. There we go. First, I must munch this grass. Goat ate grass near Willow. So we have goat again and Willow again. Then goat began to munch Willow's long cloak. So we have goat and we have Willow again. Long, ah. So that does not say the long O sound, but we do have cloak. That does say the long O. Moving on, we have no and Willow again. A friend should not munch my cloak. So should is not the long O. Not is not the long O, but cloak is. With a sniff, the goat left. So here's goat again. All right, and then we have, may I be your friend? A toad asked as he jumped onto Willow's toe. We can sit and chat. So we know we have Willow's again. We have toe. That's the O-E spelling. We have toad. Onto has two O's, but neither of those are long sounds. Okay. Then we go down to the next one. We have Willow smiled at Toad. Just like that, Toad changed into a prince with a gold crown. Now, does crown work? It has the O-W, crown. So this one says the ow sound, not the O sound. So that one doesn't work. And then our last little paragraph, Princess Willow and Prince Toad became best friends for life. Did you find them all? Did you find all 40 of our long O words? If you did, great job. If you found a few extra, make sure you put a little slash through them because they didn't work. And if you didn't find all of them, make sure you highlight them just as I did. Great job today, friends. We'll see you later.